Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to Marriage Without Tears channel. This is your ultimate channel for couples that want to make a difference in their marriage. Couples that actually want to learn how to run effective and blissful marriages and family life. This is your channel, and I welcome you. My name is Felix Ukeke. I am your marriage counselor and coach. There is an ugly trend that is happening in many marriages today. I discovered that a whole lot of couples want to throw in the towel. They simply want to get out of the marriage. They want to get out of the union. Possibly because of the downward trend in the economy, possibly because of some certain weaknesses in their spouses, possibly because the threat, maybe some of the promises that were made at the earlier time, especially during the onset of the relationship, is no longer being realized. They are no longer patient enough to wait through. They are no longer patient enough to pray through. That is the reason why I want us to discuss today. What are some of the impacts of divorce? Should we actually divorce? If you are contemplating divorce, this is an opportunity for you to listen to me attentively. Please listen, because this very particular edition is essentially for you. Listen, you may pick one or two things. Number one, if you are contemplating divorce, I want you to know very well that it is not greener on the other side of the field. It is not greener there. Some of the challenges you are running away from, you may still meet them the other side. Because I have seen people who got divorced simply because they can no longer take it. And it became like the proverbial from the frying pan to the fire. Ask those who have divorced. Ask those who have left their marriages. Is their lives better? Are they better out there? The man that you are meeting tomorrow, doesn't he have weaknesses? Doesn't he have areas of error? The woman that you are trying to bring in, is she a perfect person? Is she a perfect woman? Or are you divorcing to stay single all through your years? Is it better for you to stay single all your years? Can you actually carry the burden of staying single all through the years? Those are questions you must ask yourself from time to time. Nobody, even God, did not say that relationships in marriage will be easy and flourishing from day one. No, there is a place of giving. There is a place of investment. You have to invest in your marriage emotionally, physically, spiritually, morally. Marriage is a place where you invest. You invest your time, you invest your resources, you invest your energy. Even the woman that is coming into the marriage is called a helpmate, a helpmeet for the man, a help that is ideal for the man. What are you doing as a woman? You are coming to help the man to attain a height. And of course, if you are coming to help the man to attain a height, you must know that there are sacrifices that must be made. There are issues that must come up in your marriage. There are issues that may seem negative, but God is using that negative area to bring you to a positive land. There are sacrifices you must undergo in order for your marriage to become wonderful. I have seen so many couples who are getting outside of their marriage simply because they felt that the man is no longer tolerant, is no longer forgiving, is no longer as compassionate and as kind. But they fail to realize that there are issues that are possibly bothering the man that has brought him from that exciting moment, exciting time which he used to have, to a very gloomy hour, to a very gloomy moment, to a very gloomy culture. There are issues at stake. It is possible that the man is being hindered by something that is not as obvious unto you, except you look deeper. The man may be going through a business problem. The man may be going through a cultural problem. The man may be going through all manner of pressures that may inhibit his capacity to be as exciting as he ought to be. If you are a woman in marriage, it is your work to look deeper and find out what are the things I ought to do to bring the man out of this gloomy state, to bring this man to a place where I actually want him to be. This should be your concern. And the same thing with a man. If you discover that your wife is always angry, if you discover that your wife is always looking outside there for alternatives, begin to ask yourself questions as a man. This is what it is all about to be married. Marriage is not about all joy throughout. There are times of pressure, there are times of adversity, there are times of frustration, but there are also times of joy and harmony. It takes a woman and a man investing in their union to attain that level where they begin to enjoy the fruit of that union. And I want you to know that. If you're a woman contemplating divorce, because possibly your husband has traveled far, is no longer calling you. It appears as if he has relocated, he is no longer interested, he's doing some other things, he's chasing business, he does no longer call you. I want you as a woman to know that even though the man may treasure your companionship, but he is sacrificing something for the greater good. He sacrifices your companionship because he wants to attain that level of heart to carry you to that glorious destiny. You must look at that from that perspective. And it is also possible that the man is not finding it easy where he is. So as a woman, all you need to do is to find a way to augment whatever the man is doing. Find a way to augment it. If he's no longer providing, check yourself whether there are things you can do to provide food for your children at that point in time. After all, if the man is still alive, are you not going to appreciate God because at least he's alive? What of those who have lost their husband who cannot see him again? So the mere fact that your husband is alive is a testimony by itself. Now, as a woman, recall into your shell. Check whether there are activities, there are businesses, there are careers, there are things you can engage yourself in that will bring food to the table while your man is busy struggling out there to also bring joy onto your family. It's very, very important. Don't leave him because he's away. Don't leave him because he's not providing. Because you never know what tomorrow portends. You can never know. You can never know. There is a video about Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama. I watched some time ago. Michelle Obama is the former First Lady of the United States of America, the wife of Barack Obama. She said something that there was a time in her relationship when she actually, was contemplating divorcing her husband. Because each time she looks around, she can't find him. He's either on a campaign trail or he's somewhere else. He's never there. It became so obvious that she's alone. And she actually wanted to throw in the towel. It took the counsel of well-meaning individuals, wonderful friends, to gather her thoughts together. And what do you have? The man ended up becoming the president of the United States, and the woman who nearly left her marriage became the first lady of America. You can never say what will happen. I know of a woman who abandoned her marriage and followed a boyfriend. At the end of the day, the boyfriend married her, but only lived for 2 years and died. And then the former husband began to prosper. There are situations like that. You never know what tomorrow portends. So have it at the back of your mind that you are called into that marriage to bring joy, to fill in the gap wherever your spouse is missing it, so that you can fill in the gap. Don't ever leave your marriage simply because you don't have children. Don't leave your marriage because your husband is not doing well, or because your wife is this or that. I know of a woman who married a man that was divorced. The man was actually divorced by the wife. The wife said, I can no longer take it. What's the reason? That the man is promiscuous. He's always found in the arms of other women. Cases of extramarital affairs here and there. And the woman could no longer contain herself. She threw on the towel and left the marriage. Another woman eventually married the same man. The same woman saw the same weakness in that man. The new wife saw the same weakness in that man. Do you know what she did? She went and talked to her pastor, and they began to woo that man. They began to minister the spiritual side of life unto him. Before you know it, the man became a wonderful child of God. Before you know it, everything changed. And today, as I'm talking to you, the man is a servant of God, a minister of the gospel. And is highly, the wife has become like a champion to him. He's elated. Everything about the extramarital affairs became a thing of the past because he got married to a woman who knew the weaknesses, appreciated the weaknesses, but found another way of taking those weaknesses away and drawing the strength onto the man. That is what a wife does. And as is happening in the case of a wife, it should also happen in the case of the husband. I know a wonderful friend of mine in the years past. He was actually divorced from his wife. He was a police officer, doing very well. But somehow, the man didn't like taking bribes. And even though all other police officers around him were busy taking bribes and prospering, buying cars, buying all manner of houses, the man was being promoted in his workplace. He was just earning his salary. He could not find himself taking bribes. And the wife said to him, "What is wrong with you? How can you not see what is happening? All the junior officers around you are busy prospering, and you are not doing anything. You are just bringing home your salary. What is wrong with you? And the man said, I cannot condescend to the level where they are. Because of that, they began to have issues. At the end of the day, there was a divorce. 2 to 3 years later, the same man married another woman who was a banker. The woman saw what was in the life of that man. He saw the weaknesses, he saw the strength. He told the man one day, what happens if I get you another job where you will earn better? Instead of being in the police, you can become a security officer. Can I get you another job? The man was, why not? Get me another job, I'll be ready to do it. And before you know it, they got a job for the man in a conglomerate. And the man became the chief security officer of that conglomerate nationwide. And before you know it, this man became very wealthy. To the level where those things that the former wife was crying about that he couldn't get, he got it many times over. But under the care of another woman who knew the man's weaknesses, who was able to look at those weaknesses and pull him out of the weaknesses. That is the job of a spouse. And I want you, instead of thinking about how to abandon your marriage, think in terms of how to pull your spouse out of that ugliness. Make him a better person. Make her a better person. And the joy that will come unto you will be more than you can explain. That is what we are talking about today. So if you are contemplating divorce, please lay that thought beside you. And please, I want to counsel you. Don't leave your marriage because there is no children in the marriage. As long as there is life and you are still moving along in joyfulness, there is always an expectation. There is always, a faith that must be generated in you that children will come in that marriage. I've seen women who got pregnant at 50. I've seen those who got pregnant at 55. I actually have seen a woman who got pregnant at 60. So only pray and have your faith rooted in God. That you don't have children is not enough for you to abandon your marital vows. Stick in there. Be prayerful. Hold on to your man. And I tell you that glory must speak in your life. It is very, very important that you know that. I myself speaking with you, I was not having children until the 7th year in my marriage. The 7th year. Before I had my first son. The 7th year. And after him, I never had children again until the 13th year, when I now had my baby girl. And that's the only children we have in our marriage. The young man and the woman. Between them is 5 years gap. We never had any other. But I want to let you know that they bring a lot of joy to my family. They bring a lot of joy unto us. I want you to stick with your husband. It does not matter what the devil may say. You will have children if you are married to the glory of God. So stick to that marriage. Don't leave that man because he's going through a very trying time. Possibly he's not fending well enough. He's not bringing in money again. And somehow you feel that somehow you are in pains. You can no longer take it. No, that is why you are called into that union. To be able to stabilize the man. To be able to fit in when the man is no longer providing enough. All you need to do is to check yourself and see whether there are virtues, whether there are qualifications, characteristics in you that can bring in money, that can bring in food to the table as at that moment in time. You can shoulder the responsibilities of your house for a season until your man gets back on track. Don't leave him, because you never can tell. The place you are going to, you never can tell. The man you are leaving, you never can tell. Anything can happen by tomorrow. Who says that the person you are leaving will end up being poor forever? No. Stay in that marriage. I tell you, as a woman out there, stay in that marriage and continue praying for your husband. Continue edifying your husband. Continue raising prayer altar for your husband, and your husband will make it to the glory of God. And you will have a testimony to share before others. Your mess must become your message. That is why you are there in that union. I want you to hold on to your man. Even if he has traveled far and it appears that he has abandoned you. No, he has not. He is there looking for a way to make, to bring it back on. To bring it bread. That is why he's there in a far distance place. He misses you, but he has to sacrifice your companionship for the greater good. I want you to know that as a woman. It's very, very important, because I see so many ladies who want to throw in the towel because it appears to them as if the man is no longer good enough. No. Stay in your marriage. I must also counsel you, if you are contemplating marriage, because there is someone out there who is fanning the embers of your frustration, and the person is saying, abandon your household, abandon your wife, abandon your children, come unto me, I am better. I want to let you know that he or she is not better. It's not better. It's simply, look very well. That person has also his or her weaknesses. So don't leave your marriage for anything. Hold on to your marriage. Hold on to your marriage. For as long as your husband or your wife is not beating you up, as long as that marriage have not degenerated into violence, into terror and torture, please hold on to your man. Even if he's a thief, pray him out of that stubbornness. Pray him out of that evil. Pray him out. But you must stand in the gap for your husband. You must stand in the gap for your wife. You must hold forth. That man or that woman that is busy luring your wife away, if you pray hard enough, God is capable of even transferring that person to a far-flung place that he or she will never encounter your spouse again. So just be prayerful. Hold on to your family. And before you go, please do one thing for me. Click on this red button. Get subscribed to this channel. I want us to continue to speak on this. And tell your friend, tell your neighbors, tell anyone that is contemplating a divorce at this season. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Tomorrow can be more wonderful than you think. Tomorrow is very pregnant. My people used to say, hold on. And God will bless your patience. I look forward to seeing you again. I look forward for us talking again. Click this red button. Get subscribed to my channel. Let's do this again. Have a wonderful time. See you next week. Bye.